What's up, everybody? Kyle here. Let's talk wax, and today we're going to be taking a look at an updated version of my top 10 from 2023 Bowman Draft. Now, I do update all of my autograph checklist breakdowns about 3 to 4 times a year over on Patreon for all releases since 2019, and I'm going to try to start doing videos for these updates as well. I know Bowman 2024 is set to release on the 8th. A lot of you guys have already got product in hand, and you will be getting your shipments tomorrow. But this just happened to fall on that day with 2024 Bowman. So I will be doing Prospect Hot Sheet later in the week, but I wanted to throw this out there, like I said, an updated version of my top 10 for 2023 Bowman Draft, which is the most recent release prior to 2024 Bowman. So before we get into our top 10, I do want to go over some MLB graduates, some honorable mentions, and some notable pitchers. Obviously, we have Wyatt Langford in this release, and he's no longer a prospect as far as Let's Talk Wax is concerned. He has graduated to the major leagues, and I think he will be there for some time. He's currently on the injured list with a hamstring injury. A slow start for him, over 129 plate appearances. He's got a negative WAR, a 224 batting average, and a sub 100 ISO. So things did not start well for Wyatt Langford. He absolutely destroyed the minor leagues in 2023 last year, but he's off to a bit of a rough start so far. And like I said, he is out right now with a hamstring injury, but that's the only graduate that we have on this list as of right now, and he clearly falls under the notable MLB graduates. Honorable mentions that are not on this list are Bryce Eldridge. Now, I do like Bryce Eldridge. He's not doing any pitching right now, but he is focusing on hitting. He had a really good season last year in 2023 post-draft. He finished the season in low A, hit for average, hit for some power. He repeated low A this year, and he's struggling a little bit to get it going. And the thing I'm kind of nervous about right now with Eldridge are the elevated K rates. They aren't quite red flag K rates, but they are a bit elevated, so hopefully he can get back on track. I've got Kendall George with the Los Angeles Dodgers. 19.5, playing in low A as well. He is a very good contact hitter. He has a plus hit tool, but the two things you have to watch with Kendall George are he has no juice right now, and he's got elevated ground ball to fly ball rates. So I feel like the batting average may trend down a little bit as he moves up into the upper minors, where infielders are much better. We've also got Blake Mitchell, a very high ceiling catcher behind the plate. He's got some very good defensive tools. He can throw the lights out of it on the bump as well. But he also suffers from a bit higher of a K bug than Bryce Eldridge. I think he's got about a 34% K rate right now, and it was also elevated last year in his debut. The big positive with Blake Mitchell is the defense and the power, and those are things that are kind of hard to come by with catchers that have a significant amount of pop in their bat. But if he can't make more contact, he may fall off this list, especially as he moves up into the upper minors. Notable pitchers, clearly we've got Paul Skeens on here. He is an elite Rankee. Wyatt Langford was also an elite Rankee, the only two elite Rankees in this product on release day. Like I said, Langford graduated. We're kind of just waiting on Paul Skeens to get his call up. He's got a sub 1 ERA right now in AAA. Jaden Ham and Rhett Lauder have emerged as both 1.5s, two big arms that are both in high A right now. Hurston Waldrop had an amazing season last year, but he's kind of gotten off to a slow start this year in AA. Noble Meyer is a number 2. Sean Sullivan and Xander Meath, I think, is going to be a big sleeper in this release for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 18.9, playing in low A right now, has really good numbers. Definitely somebody to check out. Xander Meath. We've got Austin Walters, Austin Tresser, Emmett Olson. These are all 2.5s. Garrett Bauman, who's got some really good numbers in low A for a young kid. Hunter Owen, Nolan McLean, who is the only true two-way player. He is doing both. He's hitting and pitching right now for the New York Mets, but he is probably going to find his home on the bump. I think the tools on the mound are a little bit better than what they are at the plate. And Patrick Riley. And that's going to round up all of our honorable mentions and our notable grads and notable pitchers. We're going to jump into our 10 through 6. And before we go any further, I also want to talk about, I posted this stuff for early access on my Patreon page, and I've got 2 or 3 guys messaged me like, hey, where's Johnny Farmelo in all this? Why isn't he in the top 10? I do like Farmelo. Farmelo was a 3 in all the players that are on this honorable mention and top 10 were elite through 2.5 as my Let's Talk Wax rank. I'm actually going to drift over to that before we jump into this actual top 10. But Farmelo was a 3 for me. There's just a very small sample size, but he's doing pretty well. He's not hitting for much average, but he doesn't have a high speed profile ceiling with some good exit velos. And it's tough to jump right out of the draft and go into low A without having visited the complex league, of course. So he's holding his own. I definitely think he's a guy that could jump into this top 10 as the product ages a little bit. But let's take a look at our ranking systems before we go any further. So these are my 2 ranking systems that I use, and you will see these in the video as well. My Let's Talk Wax rank is my personal opinion, and it's just, my prospecting opinion based on the number of years that I've been doing this, and reading all kinds of different stats, defensive value, some projection in there as well. This is all subjective and my opinion, so there are, of course, disagreements among the prospecting community. You guys may not agree with my top 10, but it's just my opinion and how I see things, and that's what kind of makes prospecting fun. If everybody knew who the next MLB Superstar was going to be, it wouldn't be very fun because everybody would win. So it's definitely fun to discuss, your opinions with other people. I also have the Juggernaut system that I created to give me a less biased look at players. It's based on stats. Now, even though the stats are cherry-picked by myself, they are weighted on base average, stolen bases per plate appearance, K percentage, swinging strike percentage, WRC plus, and age level. I apply different weights to those stats, and I create a score. And you're going to see that score. It's of all minor league hitters under the age of 23. And going back to Farmelo, if these ranks were not based on my personal opinion on the Let's Talk Wax ranking scale and based on the Juggernaut ranking system, Farmelo actually would have been at number 7. I think his Juggernaut rank was like 154. So definitely something to keep in mind for all you Farmelo fans, that he's very close to jumping onto this list. All right, now we can dig into some of the fun stuff. Cole Carrig at number 10, Colorado Rockies. This is the only big thing I have against Carrig right here is the organization that he plays in. They haven't really churned out a lot of MLB superstars in the last few years. I think Ezekiel Tovar, maybe Hunter Goodman have been some of the top prospects to kind of have a little bit of success at the major league level in that organization. I think Zach Veen's in the process of maybe having a comeback here, but as far as development goes, they haven't been very solid in creating top-tier prospects or winning games at the major league level. So being a Rocky does sort of hurt you in the prospecting community. So Cole Carrig pretty much can play anywhere, shortstop, center field, catcher, you name it. He does have quite a bit of athleticism. I did make a mistake on the position. Obviously, his position is not high A, but he does swap out between shortstop, center field, and catcher. He did that last year for a bit. He's got 84 plate appearances so far this year. He's hitting 271 with a 186 ISO. There's a pretty solid speed power look here. He's got 2 home runs already with 12 stolen bases, the most on this list. What I really like about Carrig right now is his K percentage. He's got the best K percentage on this list at 8.3, which is sub 10, which is very rare. To qualify for a red, which is the excellent stats, you have to have a sub 20 K percentage, and Carrig actually has a sub 10. He's taken more walks than strikeouts. You can see he's got 11.9 walk percentage. So he's having a pretty good year so far in high A. I would look to see him get bumped up to double A here in the 2024 season. His career numbers are very good. 324 career average, a 186 career ISO, and a sub 20 K percentage. At number 9, we've got Braden Taylor, Tampa Bay Rays, shortstop / third baseman, probably more third base than shortstop. 21.9 in high A. He's 99 plate appearances in. He's got the best walk percentage on this list, and that's something that I really factor in. It's one of the reasons I use weighted on base average in the Juggernaut ranking system, because they do award points in weighted on base for walks. So he's got a 21.2 walk percentage at 26.2 K percentage, which is a little bit high for me. I kind of get a little nervous anything above 25 in the lower minors, especially because sometimes it tends to escalate a little bit when on prospects get into double A. But he's got the 169 ISO, 247 average. He's got like fringe numbers there. He's a lot like Carrig. They're very similar in their Juggernaut ranks. You can see Carrig's a 169 and Taylor's a 178. So they're both speed, power, profile guys. There's just a little more swing and miss with Braden Taylor, but I do think that there's a little more juice in his bat. But we'll see as these prospects develop. We've got Tommy Troy at number 7. 37, who just recently landed on the injured list with a hamstring injury. He had a small sample size, 52 plate appearances. He's been ice cold to start the season. He had an immaculate post-draft showing in 2023. You can see his career average is 241 with a 166 ISO. And that's factoring in his awful numbers to start the 2024 season. But he is currently on the injured list. In 2023, he hit 4 home runs and stole 9 bases in 115 plate appearances. So the skills are there. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him playing shortstop and Lawler and him kind of sharing that same position. So I would definitely expect, like Troy, Taylor, and Carey to hopefully get some Double-A appearances, some plate appearances in 2024. At number 8, we've got Luke Keshaw, and I've been pretty high on Keshaw from the jump with this release. He's a $15 auto. He's very cheap right now. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2. On the Juggernaut, he's actually number 47. He does everything pretty well. He's not going to be exceptional defensively. He's kind of like a utility player. He can play anywhere on the infield besides shortstop and catcher. He's very versatile. I shouldn't say he's bad defensively or doesn't have upside. He just has a lot of versatility. He's not going to be a lock to to stick at shortstop or play one position. So I do think he has that utility man upside at the major league level, and the bat kind of plays another speed power look. He's got great K numbers. He's got just as many walks as strikeouts with a 284 average. So Keshaw is definitely a guy that I like, and he's pretty cheap right now at $15 with the Minnesota Twins. Number 6, we've got Ralphie Velasquez. He is one of the younger players on this list at 18.9. Not the youngest. The youngest player is number 2 on this list, so that'll be a little bit of a teaser for you. In low A, he's got 6 home runs already with a 242 ISO, so there's some serious thump here. Another kind of like Blake Mitchell catcher. I don't think he's going to I take that back because he hasn't caught at all in the 2024 season right now. He's playing strictly first base, but he was drafted as a catcher with big pop. But it's a hit power bat. He's got great K numbers. He walks. He doesn't strike out a ton. But I think going forward, the defensive value is going to be diminished because he is going to probably hunker in right at first base. And they've got Kenzie Noel at the AAA level, I think, this year, who's another big power first baseman. So we'll see what kind of pans out there with Ralphie Velasquez. But for his age, already having 6 home runs in low A, that's pretty impressive for a soon-to-be 19-year-old. Now, if you guys enjoy my content and you'd like to help support the channel, be sure to check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. I have free and exclusive subscriber content over there, including Bowman Chrome autograph checklist breakdowns for every release since 2019, including the recent 2024 Bowman autograph checklist breakdown. I've got Bowman team break guides for every release since 2020, including the 2024 Bowman team break guide. I've got a top 150 Bowman Chrome autos list, a top 150 Bowman Chrome autos under $50 list, access to my Juggernaut ranking system that is archived for all 2023 players and has just been recently updated for all 2024 players. You get early access to my YouTube video info and Let's Talk Wax articles, plus much more. You can find all exclusive content organized in the collections tab on my homepage if you guys get confused over there. But I'll put a link to my Patreon page in the video description. I appreciate everyone who supports me already. Leading off our top 5 is Mike Bovey, and he is a Milwaukee Brewer third baseman. He played first base in college, but he is now playing a little bit of third base. So that's going to increase his defensive value. He's a 371 career hitter with a 193 ISO. Now, Bovey does not have a lot of pop. His ISOs are kind of aided by doubles and triples. He's got a grip of doubles and triples so far in 2024. He's got a 421 batting average with a 179 ISO. So he does have doubles and triples power. He just doesn't have a lot of home run power. So don't let the ISO kind of talk you into the fact that he's going to hit a ton of home runs. He's not going to do that. He's never done that throughout his career unless some major swing change, affects his power. But I don't see them fooling with Bovey very much because, like I said, he's hitting 421 right now. He's hitting 333 after a recent promotion to Double-A. So off to a really hot start in 2024. He was kind of a fringe guy on release, and he's kind of stood out among many of the college hitters that may have been, had a little more hype behind their name on release. So this is a fun way. This is one of the reasons I do these updates, so guys like Mike Bovee do get recognized for their accomplishments. He's number 5 on my Juggernaut ranking system, the highest on this list. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2, and he does not have any base autos, so his refractors are sitting right around $50 right now. At number 4, we've got Jacob Wilson, Oakland A's shortstop, 22.1. He's in Double-A right now. Now you're going to see a lot of bold red under Jacob Wilson's name. That's really good. He's got a 429 batting average, the highest on this list, a 250 ISO. That's the highest on this list. And another, I don't want to say he doesn't have any power because he's already hit 3 home runs, but going into the draft, Wilson was not looked at as a power bat. He does have 12 doubles, which I think have kind of padded his stats a little bit, but the 3 home runs are already more than he's hit in his entire professional career, just here in 2024. So I'm not sure if there's been a swing change there or a tweak. The Oakland A's aren't very well known for making great hitters out of average hitters, or I guess adding power to hitters. You see like Soderstrom kind of struggling, and he was one of the bigger power hitters in that organization. But Wilson is a contact, plus contact bat. The only thing that kind of bothers me, and I did make a mistake on this, you can see the 1.1 is in red, that should be in blue. He does have the lowest walk rate on this list. He's got 1 walk right now in 88 plate appearances. But like I said, I think that has a lot to do with his contact tool. When he swings, he does not miss a significant amount. That's why he's number 7 on the Juggernaut ranking system. There's not a huge swing and miss percentage there for him. But he's definitely going to have to shrink the zone a little bit and be better at the major league level, I think, to get those walks up a little bit more. He's got the highest career batting average on this list at 377 and the lowest career K percentage at 10.5. So Jacob Wilson is definitely a guy that could see some big league time in 2024. The bad thing about Wilson is he does play for the Oakland A's, and there's just not a very big driving force in the prospecting community behind that team. At number 3, we've got Max Clark, and I try to stay very, very stats based. I was talking to my buddy Bobby Anderson that it moderates our Discord server, does a lot of cool content for us over on the Patreon page. A very good prospecting mind. Sometimes, I kind of like listen to what Bobby says, because he has very good opinions and he does very deep dives into a lot of guys' stats. And I was talking to him about Farmelo because he brought up, why isn't Farmelo in this top 10, and I said, well, I try to stay stats-based 99% of the time, and I go with projection 1% of the time. And with Max Clark, so far, it's kind of projection for me here, and I do think the tools are there. Obviously, the tools are there. He wouldn't have gotten selected where he did in the 2023 draft if the tools weren't there. But he hasn't shown really a wow factor yet in the minor leagues. Now, his K numbers are very good, which does give me hope that he could kind of explode at any moment. He's got a 16.9 walk percentage and a sub 20 K percentage, which is pretty exciting for a young kid at 19.4, but he's hitting 244 with a sub 100 ISO. He hasn't shown off any of that Instagram pop, that's been posted all over that kind of got his hype in there. And the speed is showing up a little bit with 8 stolen bases. But I'm definitely thinking that Max Clark's going to have to do a lot more over the course of the 2024 season to kind of hold his stock at a $250 base auto right now. That just seems very expensive for the numbers that he's putting up. It seems kind of high risk to me. But, like I said, sometimes it takes guys a little while to transition into pro ball. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5, and he's 135 on the Juggernaut ranking system, so he's not too far outside of that top 100, which is purely stats based. At number 2, this could be a guy that maybe takes the reins in my next update as the number 1 overall prospect in this release at Colt Emerson, Seattle Mariners shortstop. He's 18.8, the youngest player on this list. Now, you saw pictures of Colt Emerson post-draft, and if you've watched any video on Emerson in 2024, it almost looks like he ate himself from 2023. His legs are so much thicker. He looks almost like a bodybuilder in a baseball uniform. The kid put on some really good size. And that's something that I do notice, with guys like Sal Stewart, that post-draft that he had kind of a bad body, but you can see in 2024 kind of the transformation that Sal Stewart's made with his body, and how much work these guys put in the offseason, which kind of excites me, and it's something that I definitely look into. And Bobby, like I said, I mentioned Bobby just a minute ago. He's probably the number one Colt Emerson fan that I know. He's been talking about him a lot in our Discord server. He loves Colt Emerson, and a lot of people have kind of fallen suit. He's hitting 280 with a 160 ISO, 12.9 walk rate, which is really good for an 18-year-old in low A to have a 10-plus walk percentage. That doesn't happen a whole lot. 16.1 K percentage. He's got 2 home runs and a stolen base. He's yet to struggle in professional baseball, and I really think that this is a kid that needs a promotion to high A. I'm just wondering what happens. Is he going to get the reps at shortstop if his bat is kind of further along than what he does at short? But we don't really know yet what's going on. But I definitely think the bat is ready to see maybe a promotion in the next month or two. We could see him in high A. I don't know if he'll do it before his 19th birthday, but it would be pretty cool if he did. He's got a 340 career average, 171 ISO, and a sub 17 K percentage. Juggernaut ranking, he's number 45, so he's top 50. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5, and his autos have kind of shot up. He's going to stop being cheap, I think, until he shows, like I said, struggle. Sometimes, high A is a struggling point for a lot of young prospects. It happened with Gunnar Henderson. He struggled tremendously in his first showing in high A. So we never know what's going to happen, but I definitely think the bat's going to reach high A or double A by the end of 2024. At number 1, we've got Matt Shaw, who is struggling a little bit, but his numbers in college were just so outlandish, and he had a very good post-draft appearance in 2023. And I had to put him in the number 1 spot. He's a Chicago Cubs infielder, 22.5, playing in Double A right now. He's got a 218 average with a 154 ISO. Not exciting numbers. He's got 3 home runs and 7 stolen bases. So there is some production there. But I did go off the career numbers and what he did in college as well. 311 career batting average so far with a 225 ISO and a sub 20 K percentage. So I really like Matt Shaw. He's got the big leg kick. I'm not sure if that's going to affect, how he plays at the next level. He may have to tone some things down with his swing that he got away with in college, but he's still my number 1 on this list, but it's Colt Emerson is not very far behind him. He's actually much cheaper than Colt Emerson. You could probably argue Bobby for Colt Emerson in the number 1 spot. He may beat you. He'd probably beat me in a Matt Shaw argument just because he knows more about Colt Emerson than I think anyone that I've talked to in the prospecting community. But his K numbers are solid. I think we'll see a rebound. He could heat up any day, Matt Shaw. Or maybe he tanks at Double A and he never kind of lives up to his destiny. That's the fun thing about prospecting as well. We never know. Anybody who tells you that they do know is a liar, and I definitely wouldn't follow anybody that tries to predict the future. So here at Let's Talk Wax, we just try to give you the raw data mixed with a little bit of my opinion, and I've been wrong several times. Too many to talk about in a quick video. But that's going to wrap this one up. I will have Prospect Hot Sheet number 2 coming at the end of the week. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. Before we go, I want to give a quick shout out to all of my Patreon level 3 subscribers. I appreciate the support over there. If you guys enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and throw me a like. That does help me get more views. And I'm trying to get up to 13,000 subscribers. I recently crested 12,000 subscribers this weekend. Thank you to everyone who supports me, and y'all have a great day.